Hello, BC. Hello, Steve. This is Christian down here in Santiago, Chile, doing my entry to your contest. First of all, congratulations on your milestone, on your achievement. It's really, really cool. And thank you for inviting me to do a contest, to do my entry to your contest. It's a really, really cool one because it makes me think which one was my first concert that I ever attended, and I was wrong because I thought another band was my first contest con concert. Sorry, my first yep. But it's this one. I have my ticket right on here. But first of all, I'm going to try to put you in context about the situation here in Chile or here in South America, because we live here in South America, and in the 80s when I was starting to listen to music, we did not have lots of international acts, or at least hard rock, heavy metal shows coming here. I think the first ever heavy or concert was a Creator, and by the early 90s, 89, 1991, if I'm correct, it was a really small show that it really went really underground. Only a few people, no, not a few people. It was really packed, but it was a small audience because it was played in a yes, really small venue that I think it's no longer here. Um, and then in the 80s, we did not have any acts, as I was telling you, mostly because in that time Chile was not a well-known country for hosting or having a big audience for receiving and having a concert. Of course, South America, we have Brazil. It's a huge market. Argentina also. Brazil, you know, they have Monster Rock in Rio in '85, and you have all the big bands. At least I think at least they have played once in Brazil, like major acts that never came here to Chile, like Queen or Van Halen, with of course with classic lineup and all the stuff like that. So the first big international concert that we have here in Chile was in 89, 1989. And it was a Rod Stewart gig that he was doing a tour here in Latin America, and he was the first big concert we have here. It was in a football stadium, 90,000 people. It was a packed concert because it was the first. Then a couple of I think weeks later, or a couple of, or maybe 1 month later, we have the first rock act, because it was then the turn for Bon Jovi to play here, and it was again a huge success, a huge event. It was sold out. But for heavy metal, hard rock acts, it was until the early 90s that we start to have concerts. And the first one that I ever attended is this one. Is May the 4th, 1993. And it's Metallica. Yes, it's Metallica. They played it at the Velódromo Estadio Nacional. That's the biggest sport stadium we have here in Santiago, and they play in a small sports venue that is nearby the big stadium, and it was a freezing night. It was as cold as I don't know what, because the night before we had here in Santiago a big flood that occurred near the mountains, near the Andes. That Santiago is located nearby the big range we have here, and we had a big flood that, of course, created a lot of trouble, a lot of disaster, and it was cold, 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 really, really cold. It was, I think, 2 or 3 degrees over zero here, and that's for Santiago. It's really cold because it was like an Arctic freeze we have here. But going back to the show, Metallica played that night and with no opening act. The tour they were promoting or was the one that they named "Wherever I May Roam." It was a mix of old stuff and, of course, I think it was the first things they have made for the Load album. Yes, if I'm correct, maybe. Um, but it was big on the Black Album because it's 93 and the Black Album was from 91. And it was a really, really good show. We got the chance to see, of course, still with Jason Newsted, one of my favorite bass players in hard rock. And the ticket, it had a value, at least here, I don't know if you can see it, that's 8,000 Chilean pesos. I don't know, today I think this ticket will be 10 times this value. 8,000 pesos, if I make the conversion to US dollars at the current exchange, it will be $10, maybe something like that. But it was, well, that's my first gig that I ever attended. I went with my brother, yes, with my brother, and I think maybe one more friend of him. We had an awesome show. We were all freeze. We were all standing very close together to keep us warm. The show was really good. It was more than hour and a half or nearly 2 hours. They play all the classics. Of course, heavy on the Black Album, and they in that era I think they were playing a medley of the Justice for All album with a couple of songs that were played in its entirety. I think, of course, one and maybe another one, but they played a big medley with songs of the Justice for All. But it was a great, great show. I think the attendance was around maybe 20,000 people, and from then all the Metallica concerts were sold out, and the audience keeps growing and growing and growing. As many heavy metal acts here in Chile, they almost every show they have here, they are well promoted, and the attendance is always quite considerable. If you put if you see the population of Chile and you compare it with other big markets, like we have, of course, here in South America, with Mexico, with the States, or even Europe, we always have a big audience attending those heavy metal or legacy bands in hard rock and heavy acts like Metallica, Maiden, AC/DC, Black Sabbath, the Stones. I don't know, even small acts like Faith No More, Dream Theater, Primus, and you name it. They almost every band that they play here in Chile, they play to a sold out audience here every time. So Steve, that's it. That's my entry. Hope you like it. Thanks for inviting me to do this entry to your contest. Well, nothing more to say. I will leave a link to your original videos, or if anybody else wants to jump and do an entry. Thanks for having this contest. This is Christian down here in Santiago, Chile, saying goodbye. Till next time. Bye bye.